Welcome back, YouTube, to more MSQ playthrough. We are in Dawntrail, and we're getting started on our rite of succession. Let's go ahead and hop into it. That makes everyone. Urqopacha, the tablets, if you would. Of course. Everyone has a tablet? Then let's compare them to their respective pillars. Keep an eye out for even the smallest differences. Unless I'm missing something, the glyphs appear to be identical. The only difference being that the tablets have hollows where the keystones are to be fitted. So now that we've established that the scenes are the same, where do we go from here? The Dawn servant said we were to retrace the path he walked in uniting Tural's peoples, and that we would encounter 7 electors along the way. Then we have the answer here in front of us. Pampa's path is all laid out in the Tuliolal saga. The events the glyphs portray, do we know the exact locations where they took place? If one is close, we could go there and search for an elector. That would confirm we're on the right track. Let me think. The Lay of Reeds was in the nearby Hanu settlement. Papa took me there once. It was during festival season, and the whole village was alive with good cheer. There's also the Lay of Gold. That one involved the Palu Palu village, which is about the same distance from here. Before going anywhere, we should ask around about the road ahead. I heard a lot of talk as we toured the city about that the storm would pass through at sea. Apparently, it was ravaging Urqopacha several days ago. Since our roads are not as well paved as Eorzea's, they are more susceptible to damage from natural disasters. If we want to avoid wasting time taking a dead-end trail, I suggest we spend a few moments making inquiries. If it's not information we need, just leave it to me. I'll bring the information to us. It would be prudent to ensure we're prepared for the journey. I'll guide you to the accommodations I've arranged. That's right. The reservation is under Urqopacha's name. If you don't mind, I'll leave my companions to you. Certainly, sir. I'll go and track down the third promise. Once you finish organizing your gear, you can meet us outside Ibaliav. Thai. Probably Thai. Greetings, visitor to Tuliolal, and welcome to the Forard Cabins. Whenever you are ready, I will show you to your rooms. Ooh, those are nice. Trust you be the keenest to head out. But where Ernvel and Wuklamot, I wonder? Oh good, you're all here. Who might your companions be? Seeing as we needed information, I thought who better to get it from than the locals. These two hail from the villages we're thinking to visit. I give you credit for taking initiative at least. What do you mean at least? I am honored that the third Pyramus would seek my advice. I too am happy to answer your questions. Any encounter might be an opportunity to do business. Thank you both for your help. Before we begin, there will doubtless be other occasions when we need to act independently, so I brought these for the two of you. What's this? It is called the Link Pearl, a gemstone harvested from a special shell. When linked together, they allow people to communicate across great distances. Is that so? What a handy thing to have. It'd be very useful on our travels. Speaking of which, I should get back to introducing my two friends here. The Tuliolal saga features a number of Tural's clans. Two of these, the Hanu Hanu and the Pelu Pelu, have settlements relatively close to the city, so I brought a representative of each. As I mentioned before, the Hanu are a cheerful people who love their festivals. They make their appearance in the Ley of Reeds, and their home village, Okanu, is located in Kozamauka. The other, smaller fellow is one of the Pelu, a clan of business-minded folk from Urqopacha. They appear in the Ley of Gold and craft all kinds of marvelous goods in Wakunpelo, their village. Now, as far as deciding which village to visit first, why don't you put that adventurous instinct of yours to work for us? Pick our destination. So upon completing the quest, the main scenario will branch into two quest paths as it has done before. Accepting the quest from the helpful Hanu will temporarily prevent you from accepting the quest from the approachable Pelu and vice versa. The second quest path will become available from the respective NPC once you have completed the series of quests from the first path. Furthermore, story elements and quest rewards will not be affected by your initial choice of path. Speak with the NPC you prefer and embark on the trail for the rite of succession. Well, for our journey, I think we're gonna go with the approachable Pelu to start. The quest to Kozamauka will be available once you complete the quest series beginning with the approachable Pelu. What is it you'd like to know? Our main concern was confirming the state of the road ahead. As I recall, to reach Urqopacha, we depart from the Arch of the Dawn, then take the road west with the first fork. Should we be wary of anything along the way? That is indeed the way to Urqopacha. After the damage wrought by the recent downpour, however, you'll be doing more stumbling than walking. But do take heart. When it comes to rugged terrain, we have a most dependable solution available. Come with me. We'll be back to talk to you in good time, friend Hanu. Meanwhile, you can eat and drink to your fill at Zabaliev Tai. It's all been arranged. I believe I know how we're gonna cross the terrain, and I'm thinking it's the alpacas. May I introduce you our most dependable companion, the alpaca. These animals can traverse Urqopacha's steep mountain trails as if they were gentle fields, and all while carrying heavy loads. Our merchants would be lost without them. So they fill much the same niche as our chocobos back home. You don't have alpacas in Eorzea? Alpacas are native to Dawntrail. Eorzea has its chocobos, and the eastern lands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding another pack of beast in a place which ill suits its qualities and where it is not needed anyway? But must we ride these little monsters? I get the impression you aren't fond of alpacas. When I was small and being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me, and it was the foulest stench you can imagine. I see. What are they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. We're really doing this then. So, was my information useful to you? Yes, very helpful. Even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. You want me to pay you? I guess I should have expected as much from a Pelu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. The Pelu value the act of spreading joy through trade. As you should know, they take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. Reminds me of Zero. Here you go, a fair price for your fair advice. Yes, I made a trade with the third promise herself. My friends will never believe this. I shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. Off you go then, and thank you. I better not get spit on again. You brought that out in yourself. Remain calm and gentle, and so will they. I'm still not happy about this, but if we need to ride alpacas to reach Urqopacha, then that's what we'll do.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urqopacha, the 100 peaks of time. Of all the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Valigarmanda could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty. Yet, with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Serpent, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
So this is Urqopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear. Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som-Al.
That is Urqopacha, the tallest mountain in Dawntrail. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Oh? Do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Urqopacha, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here of all places. But I should introduce myself. I am Bolnok, a weaver by trade.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Watranpello.
Oh, truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal? Is that a local beverage?
It's an Urqopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end. But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels. Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Tural. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelu merchants.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliyola. Pelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, and many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
Watranpello's down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there.
This is it. Watranpello, home of the Pelu. Urqopacha should have arrived before us. That's not good. You've come all this way for the right of succession. Oh, so this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn servant. Please, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. How fortunate then that I deal in cloaks woven from especially luxurious alpaca wool. Such a garment would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. And a nation's ruler should dress her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady, that's right. Come, Third Promise, my well-stocked shelves are but a few steps away. Finest lady, I like the sound of that. Alright, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. What did we just talk about? Erenville, when did you... Shatona from far off Dawntrail. Northern winters are bitterly cold, I'm told. I cannot imagine how you survive them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I'm not in need of new clothes at the moment, and neither is the Third Promise. Perhaps another time. Of course, my shop door is always open. peddler saying something about not being easily charmed. I was just... As I mentioned previously, the Pelu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Wuklamad fall prey to this affable approach time and time again. Your only recourse is a clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. Valuable insight into the minds of the Pelu Pelu. Let us all take Arenville's words of caution to heart. Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do. Find the Elector. Allow me to propose a strategy then. Cryo, Alice, and I will speak with the merchants. Wukla, Montague, and Arenville might try approaching travelers and passers-by. MSQ, pray investigate any of the other establishments which catch your eye. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. Alright, let's grab this aetherite. The Dawn Servant Selector. I thought you were a new face in town. Here, for the right of succession, I take it? Me, I don't much care who sits the throne so long as they keep Toral peaceful. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. Oh, right, yes, you were asking about that elector business. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger Tobli could possibly tell you more about it. Electors? Oh yes, I've heard all about the right of succession. They're looking to put a new ruler on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zoral Jah. When the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. That means access to more resources and more customers, in the thousands column potentially. So many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Others have been coming around my way of thinking, so I've begun crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? No, I would not. Very well. You said what you wanted to know about the Elector. I could help you, but I won't. I can tell you're no supporter of Zoral Jah or his policies. Hello there, I'm Mablu. Did you have a question for me? Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas before you leave, though. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectable distance. Get too close, and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you. And that stuff stinks. It happened to a visiting buyer not long ago. Tobli, that's the head rancher, was so mad at me for not giving a proper warning. No one makes a mistake without Tobli noticing. He knows everything that happens on this ranch. You really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued peddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal, and a stack of blankets. And then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobli is the man to talk about a contest. Now, if only they'd share where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really? He's also the head rancher? Well, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay a visit before the others return. Ugh, that is a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. Not to say that I'm scared, of course. Excuse me, is one of these workers Tobli? Tobli? Oh yes, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands and keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobli often mentions his favorite pungent subject. He also can't resist a profitable trade, though who among us could, am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. So it's like a game. Easy enough. All I have to do is offer Tobli a deal he can't ignore. No problem at all. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be Tobli. Let's ask some questions first to narrow down the field. Great. We can meet back here to share our impressions. Well, obviously I'm not Tobli. I mean, oops, I shouldn't have said that. You're meant to find out for yourself who Tobli is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Visitor from across the salt, if I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit if you startle them. I suggest to keep your movements slow and deliberate. You think I might be Tobli? Well, maybe I am. All I will say is that in this village, none have reared more alpacas than I. Am I Tobli? Yes, that's me. Excellent work from the Third Promise and her entourage. Sharp instincts. Shall we commence the rite of succession then? See, we're both done with our interrogations. So who do you think it is? I have my suspicions, but let's hear your pick. Definitely not the boastful. I'm gonna say diligent. Not diligent. Maybe nonchalant. He seemed unconvincing to me, but if that's your choice, then that's who we'll talk to. Tobli, I offer you a deal. The truth of who you are in exchange for a tidy sum. What do you say? I say hand over the coin. The truth is, I'm not even a ranch hand. I just like to come by and watch the alpacas. What? You don't even work here. I knew I should have gone with my gut on this one. But now's not the time to mourn wasted coin. We need to regroup and rethink this. The boastful. That loud, boastful fellow. I suppose he could be Tobli. Only one way to find out. Nothing would make me happier than knowing your identity. So how about we make a deal and you tell me the truth? I have money. Then I agree to your trade. Done and done. As for my part of the bargain, I am not Tobli, not the head ledger, and not the head rancher. Just a humble ranch hand. You're not him? Damn it, MSQ, I trusted you. That coin could have bought me 300 gourmet tacos. No, I can't let this taco strategy distract me from what matters most. We need to determine which one is Tobli. The worker's so intent on stable chores. I had my eye on that one too. Time to rip the mask off our mystery ranch hand, so to speak. We know it's you, Tobli, and to prove it, I propose a deal. A generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. As you have correctly guessed, I am indeed Tobli, head ledger of Wachun Pueblo and head rancher of the family ranch. I am also one of Gulul Jaja's chosen electors. In a place featured in the Tulial saga, just as we thought. Though it took more coin than I would have liked to know for certain. She found you out fair and square, Tobli. And I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bid ended here.
Deducing the Dawnservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
Right. Not hard at all. Zorolja.
I am told the head ledger, Tobli, is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Tobli. That's part of the test.
You're Tobli.
Without even asking a single question. Very impressive indeed. With that amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge. Per the Dawnservant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered the number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one. You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example! This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal, Third Promise?
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said.
It's unfortunate.
The little monster spat on me! Oh, that stinks. I can't.
Alpacas are paradoxical creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly. Press your luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit, as you've all just witnessed. Has an awful stench, their expectoration. The globs contain half-digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Wild valley breed like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out. They're also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but beatable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
So, the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done. I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell. And by you, I mean the claimants only. Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching. The alpacas will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the rite, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Very well. This won't take long.
Wait! Didn't I warn you this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas. But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
Are you all right, Urqopacha? We thought we heard you scream.
The third promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
Scream, in other words.
Did you find the Elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
Ooh, it's snowing? Had to go and wash that nasty stuff off my face. I think I got all of it. But would you mind taking a sniff for me, just to make sure? The stench has ruined my sense of smell. Hey, I saw that look. As Urqopacha helped demonstrate, the valley alpaca are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me a little about that earlier, I have enough trouble with the tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With the proper saddle, we infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. Wonderful! Give me one of those then. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, then you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 pel in the 1,000 column. You mean 10,000 pel? I don't have that kind of coin. Converting to gil, that comes to around 1 million or so. Mayhap if we all pitch in. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll find the money somehow. In that case... that basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier. 1 pel in the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade me for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for trade. That's a nice gesture, but do you think I can turn 100 pel into 1 million? That's 10,000 times more. We need 10,000 pel, not 1 million. So we're looking at 100 times more. Oh, right. Panicked and got it confused with Alphanode's million gil. I'm not so sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Then let me help you with your deal making. Oh, hello again. Mablu. I work here as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. It's alright if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants toward the first step of the feat like you asked. As long as Urqopacha goes alone to capture her alpaca, she is free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Hooray! Let's see about getting you that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablu. Should the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. Yes, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Mablu gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly. Although I think you should go with Urqopacha. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over and surely have sage advice to share. In that case, you should also hold on to the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. As if I'd do such a thing. But I'll leave the wool with Mask anyway. The better to keep my hands free. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havli, the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give us an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. Something I can do for you. We've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. A saddle, is it? And how will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. And what might that be? Mezcal. I like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you've got yourself a deal. This bodes well for us, Third Promise. Such mezcal can be for only 5 pel in the thousands column. Hold on. Did you say Third Promise? Then my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years at least. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 pel or more. Why have you doubled the price? Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zoral Zhao will go to war, and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. It's nothing personal, Third Promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. Shouldn't have said nothing, Mablu. This is your fault. Can't say that I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. Those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Pelu pray for your victory, Urqopacha. The younger ones, though, to them, strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from those horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Still, others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the Second Promise envisions. They've become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles that have been made trade swift and easy. Then you have those like Havli, convinced that the First Promise plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. But what about you, Mablu? Aren't you one of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I've memorized the accounts of what it was like when the Yakyui ruled our village. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn Servant, to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I suggest I'd better make sure I win the contest. But the type of mezcal the saddle maker wants is so very expensive. Weren't we expecting to need 10,000 pel from the outset? Nothing's changed. We just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or the stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with the piece of Tuliala on the line. Neither will I. We will make you Dawn Servant. Aiming for that 10,000 pel jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration. So let's try first exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. Of course, the Weaver. Bolnok was his name, I believe. He went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision and he was here to buy wool. I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now let's head back to that road where we first met him. This is the spot? After Bodnok talked to us, he walked off to the south. Then he was probably going to Ikulvo's Inn. Most visitors to Wat Chun Pelo end up staying there. Let's go and check, shall we? Can I have that basket, Damask? Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit. Well, look, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise, you wish to do business with me. Might I ask what this is all about? I see. So the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal. And allow me to invest in your efforts. Peace in Terral is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledge to preserve that peace win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 pel, in the hundreds column. That's very generous, Bolnock. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Third Promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. I can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because MSQ remembered our weaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading, one which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I know so. Now, let's take our 500 pel poncho and trade it for something even more valuable. Here, MSQ, you take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Aaronville would never let me hear the end of it. All set. Our next deal is waiting to be found. Excellent trade. Oh, sick. Success. You traded a 100 pel basket of alpaca wool for a 500 pel wool poncho. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? They aren't wearing one? That's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yes, there you go. We find the demand for our supply. So where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse than starting right here at the inn. There might be interested travelers. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Mamulja hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sellswords. Mamulja who soldier for a living prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movements. So even if they have bared shoulders, Mamulja carrying arms can be struck off the list. This one's already fully dressed. An artisan or peddler, perhaps. Come to rest after visiting Wanchinpelo like Bolnock would be my guess. Okay, not a sellsword maybe, then this guy? Let's see, no coat or cloak, but also no weapon. Oh, we might have a winner. Oh there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. I'm actually a tool maker from Tolialal and was dressed quite smartly. All the better to show the Pelu I am a man who takes pride in his appearance, and therefore his work as well. But now look at me. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. What a splendid poncho. This would be the perfect replacement for the coat I lost. We'd be willing to part with it if you'd like to make a trade for one of your fine tool, perhaps. What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. The blade looks sharp, the haft well made. I'd value it at 1 pel in the thousands column. Oh, from 500 to 1,000, we have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of Milu's Mate Gate Garden. For one, her field hands use hatchets to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with the tool I sold you. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad I am to have met you. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Miplu's Mate Garden we go. Yes, but it's a fair distance on foot. We should take alpacas. These ones will be the calm type, right? 500 pel wool poncho for 1,000 pel fine hatchet. Success. Alrighty, and that's actually going to do it for us in this block of recording, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Ooh, there's an Aether Current. I'm going to grab that. Catch you in the next one.